All right, everybody, we are back here with another very special guest, somebody who has been a great asset and a mentor to me the last 4 years. I am here with the Vice President for Athletics, Student Life and Ministry, Jill McCabe. Jill, how are you today? How are you feeling on this lovely Wednesday?
Great. It's a little chilly, but otherwise it's the sun's out and it's a beautiful day. We got a couple competitions this afternoon, so we're doing well.
I know we're in full force here at Spring Athletics. So with that, let's kind of look at how we've been doing, as a whole this year. So how have all the Marymount teams been doing? What does spring postseason look like as it's coming up? It's crazy enough as it is.
Sure, I know the year's flying by, right? It's amazing that we're now kind of on that last step here, going into spring conference play, deep into it, and getting ready for playoffs and so forth. But we've had a great year, really. All of our teams that are able to go for a conference championship were in the conference championship Final Four tournament, except for one. So it's been an incredible year. Our new programs, men's and women's wrestling, our newer programs, right, have had stellar years. They've sent wrestlers to regionals and NCAAs. So it's been really a very successful year. This spring, our teams they're killing it. They're doing a great job. I'm really excited for, to see where we go, and hopefully we bring home a couple more championships.
So we're talking about early, young teams a little bit. So flag football is the latest team here at Marymount. We just had Kara Volmer on a couple of minutes ago talking about a player's aspect. You kind of have a different aspect, flag football is growing, and it's one of the fastest growing sports right now. So talk to me a little bit about what it's been like, watching the success of that team. Obviously, Kara's talking about nobody's able to score on them, which not many people can say.
I know.
So it's been crazy to watch that team.
Yeah, it's incredible. They really set the bar really high, with not having anyone score a single point on them yet, from even last year's championship and all the way through this season to date. So they have just lit it up. The coaches do an incredible job. They have some great experience, which I think is what we're very fortunate to have, bring in a really high caliber coaching staff that really knows what they're doing. And has that expertise. And then we have incredible student athletes here at Marymount that have really transitioned into a new sport. A couple of them have played before, but many it's a new sport. And that's what's really fun to watch them play, because there's not as much pressure and stress that they're putting on themselves, because it's new. It's like a new adventure for them, right? And they're killing it. They're crushing it. They're really fun to watch. They're very athletic. So we're looking forward to hosting the championship. We clinched the highest seed, so we'll be hosting the championship on the weekend of the 26th, I think
Coming
it is.
up.
After Easter, yeah.
And I think, too, to attest to that, watching that team is just fun. They have fun, and I think that's, one of the biggest things about being in athletics, especially D3 athletics, is just to have so much fun. Right. And I think, I can attest to it, I'm sure you can, being a D3 athlete, I had so much fun, and that was, some of the biggest parts about D3 athletics.
Absolutely. It's about the experience, right? We're not making money. It's really our blood, sweat, and tears that we're pouring into it. We're trying to balance that with everything else we're doing when we're student athletes. And really the Marymount Saints, they knock it out of the park. They hit everything, right? They perform extremely well in the classroom. We had in this fall semester, we had a 3.24. We had 52 student athletes with a perfect 4.0. 243 of them were on the dean's list. So just incredible what they do in the classroom, as well as what they're doing on their court, field, pool, etc., right? What they're doing in athletics. And then on top of that, add a cherry on top there with all the service work they do. They really give back so much to the community. So we couldn't be more proud of the Saints and everything they're doing. A new addition this year, too. I don't know if you have a question coming up on it or not, but we added a pep band, too. So that's been a unique little add to our portfolio. We've been very fortunate to have Dr. Hess and Juan Megna, the conductor, really helping us out launch the pep band, and it really just brought another little level of engagement, and it grew as we progressed through the basketball season. So it was a lot of fun to see that as well, because students, a different form of athletics, right? But something they were passionate about maybe in high school and in their personal lives.
Some people you didn't even know had a secret little hidden
talent. A whole talent, right?
Yeah.
And they did it. It was incredible. So we're excited about all the different things we're bringing forward.
So what are some of the top facility goals for the department?
Facility goals, well, we got a big list, I think. So, it's always being very creative here, in an urban setting with beautiful indoor facilities, but a lot of our outdoor teams are always, on the road, really, right? We're out in the county, and flag football's over at Bishop O'Connell, and that's a pretty nice stadium. We have our soccer and lacrosses down at Longbridge, and we have goals of really making Longbridge, which is a beautiful facility, but raising it another bar up to be more collegiate level. So having a really nice scoreboard like you'd expect somewhat at a collegiate setting, for your sake too, like a nicer press box so that we don't have to build it every time we have a game. And then having some locker rooms out there, right? And similar for softball, right? So we want to enhance that facility. So we're trying to partner with the county, as well as some, donors and so forth, to really make some incredible enhancements to those facilities, to continue to help, raise the bar for our athletic programs, help with recruiting, et cetera, but really make the student athletes experience even that much better. When we're at a game and it's raining and we don't have a locker room to go to, it's, where everything's getting wet, everything, it gets soaked. So there'll be really incredible enhancements.
So in years, you've taken on some other administrative duties, or a couple years or so. Tell me a little bit about the other areas that you oversee and some of the recent news and successes, in those departments.
Sure. It's been a great learning opportunity for me, and my division has expanded. I came in just in athletics, but then grew to include health and wellness. So I learned a lot about our student health and counseling services and our wellness programming. So that was a great educational opportunity for me, growth opportunity, right? And the ministry too. And campus ministry has really grown leaps and bounds. Our music area has just been incredibly enhanced. It's a beautiful services that we offer. Father Gabriel and Dr. Hess have done an incredible job there. Our student ministry club has enhanced and grown. They're doing service trips. They went on a mission trip over spring break. They're doing retreats, so they're very engaged, which is also great to see. And just recently added to my portfolio, as we slid off some wellness and health and wellness stuff, we brought in res life and student engagement. So, which again, another great learning opportunity to me, learn more deeper details about those areas. But there's a lot of crossover, right? In terms of what our student athletes' experiences have been. I've learned what are some of the pain points maybe that have happened in past that we're trying to continue to improve for our entire student body. To have a great experience, great customer service, etc. We are adding a new LLC this year, so it's the Sacred Heart of Mary legacy. So really getting back to our roots with the Religious Sacred Heart of Mary. Just having a LLC over in Raleigh and making it a really special area. So we're excited about that too.
Yeah, and I think you just kind of touched on what my last question is going to be, kind of in those different areas that you oversee. But how has Marymount been able to take care of students in need? I mean, you touched on the counseling services that Marymount offers, which is, a huge thing I know of. But
Sure.
I'm sure you know of a little bit more as well.
Sure. We're always trying to see how we could support our students to have success, right? So our academic advising area is not under me, but that's been enhanced, and they do an incredible job supporting our students. The counseling area, right? And we even have a mental health counseling program that actually has another whole counseling services down at the clinic too. So we have so many resources here. It's really making sure we get out and make sure that students are aware of all those resources that are available to them to have success. So the care team really got kind of an enhancement. We have an executive care team task force now that works with the care team so that we can try to really make sure any student that's having any type of struggles, we try to connect them with those resources really quickly. So we're trying to engage that too. So I think overall, I think the university is really trying to continue to grow, continue to improve in every area, right? Not only academically, which they're doing a great job there with national recognitions and so forth, but really just enhancing the services to our students.
Well, Jill, I want to thank you so much for joining us today on Day of Giving. I know you are a busy woman, so taking a couple minutes out of your day is something that we greatly appreciate. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Always love talking to you, Ella.